How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves. We're here for another match preview, Premier League match preview here. My name's Dave. Alongside me today, we've got Matt Cooper. Matt, how's it going, man?
Very well, thank you, Matt. How are you?
I am very well, thanks for asking. Wolves
Good.
are hosting at Tottenham Hotspur this weekend. The final game at home before Christmas. Of course, we've got this game and then an away tie up against Norwich next weekend. But we're going to be previewing the tie up against Tottenham Hotspur, who have found a new little... a little bit of form since the change of manager, introducing Jose Mourinho. But Matt, quickly on the last couple of fixtures for Wolves, Besiktas. Wolves managed to arrest a number of key players and still got a resounding victory, really.
Yeah, the first half was it failed to flatter, but second half it was a joy to watch. It was fluid, it was free flowing, and considering we rested so many players, I think it was really impressive. And it just shows, although we have got a small squad, when those players who are on the fringes and the youngsters, when called upon, can do a job, albeit against a very poor Besiktas side. But you can only beat what's in front of you. And they played really well. I thought Neto and Catrone linked up fairly well, considering they've not played together a lot, especially as a front two. And then Donker turned into prime Steven Gerrard for 90 minutes. He was superb in that midfield role. Got himself a goal, nearly got another one, but got an assist. But yeah, it was really encouraging. Good to see Atasawi get some minutes because he's the future. But yeah, it was impressive. Yeah, good win, and good way to kind of bow out of the group stages and into the knockout stages.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as you say, Besiktas were all over the place, but a really convincing victory for Wolves. And as you say, plenty of players that wanted to prove their worth and got the chance to do that yesterday. And of course, we're looking forward to the Europa League draw on Monday. Any team that you fancy out of that draw?
I think Malmo. I think.
Mate, they're in their off season now. Up until about March, April. Yeah, their season finishes November.
We
so
can
they'll
go
be
there and we can get a win.
Yeah.
Are
Are you more of the fact that you want to win rather than experience? Because I see a lot of people saying they want Ajax or Inter, but there's a big chance that they'll give us a tough game, won't they?
I want the win first and foremost. And obviously with the smaller teams, you've got more chance of that happening. If you want to face the bigger sides, you'll face them in the latter stages of the competition anyway. So for me, it's getting there first and then facing the big boys. I mean, it's a dream tie to get into Milan, the San Siro before it's knocked down.
It's mad that we're even talking about it, to be fair, isn't it?
Imagine if Wolves go to Inter Milan and win.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it doesn't even happen on my FM. It's ridiculous. But for me, just a smaller team to get us by. No disrespect to teams like Malmo, because they're obviously in there for a reason, but that's what we want. We want a bit of a buy into the next round.
Yeah.
And then welcome the big boys, because to beat the best, to win the competition, you have to beat the best. So we will face them at some stage. Yeah,
agreed. There is a video out on the channel as well for just a little bit of insight on all of the teams that Wolves could draw on Monday anyway. But Matt, we'll move on to the actual game itself now. Wolves hosting Tottenham Hotspur. Reverse fixture of this last season. It was a bit of a cracking game, but Wolves unfortunately coming out on the losing side of that game. But of course we went to Wembley Stadium. We ended up beating Spurs 3-1, which again was another fantastic game. But how do you think they've been getting on, especially since Mourinho's taken charge? Have sort of catapulted up the table. I mean, they're still slightly behind us. We're ahead of them by 1 point in 6th place, where they've managed to find themselves now in 7th place. And Mourinho's, got them scoring goals and winning games.
Yeah, and like with the line of work that obviously working with Spurs, I speak to a lot of Spurs fans on a daily basis, and when Poch went, they were devastated. You had small corners of the fan base who were saying he's got to go, but the large majority were saying in Poch we trust. He's the best thing since sliced bread. And for me, he was a bit of a fraud because he never really won anything, and he took them from 6th to 4th. For me, he didn't really do that much. He galvanised the team and put his philosophy in place, and obviously helped with moving to the new stadium and stuff to make them more secure and stabilised. But when Mourinho came in again, it was, we don't want him near our club. We want Poch back. Can't believe he's done this. But it's funny what a few wins can do for you, because they're slowly starting to warm to him. They've Dele Alli's been revitalised. Looks like the player he once was. Against Son, looking a lot sharper. That's the thing with Mourinho, though. He's an arm around the shoulder kind of manager, isn't he? He gets the best out of players, but they are still very leaky defensively. Ben Davies is going to be out, so you probably bet on Vertonghen playing at left back, which
Yeah.
is fantastic for Wolves because it's an unnatural position. Albeit he's a very good defender, but against Adama, he'll be roasting me every single time. But they've picked up some good wins, but again, they've always been a little bit leaky along the way. They lost in midweek to Bayern Munich. It was a bit of a non-starter of a game, and had a good win against Burnley. But apart from that, they've been grinding out results as Mourinho's teams do. So it's going to be a really tough test. But they don't fancy this either. I've been speaking to Spurs fans this week. They said they'd take a draw, which just shows how far we've come, really.
Yeah, I agree really, and of course, a massive win against Burnley last weekend. I think in the league, which will give them a big boost. But in terms of defence, other than that Burnley game, they conceded 5 in their previous 3 Premier League games before that. So I think you're right on that front, and it will be an interest. It'll definitely be an interesting tie.
Yeah, they've got a few injuries as well. Like I said earlier, Davis is out and Dombele is out. Lamella's out. They rested Kane midweek, so he'll be fresh. But they've got a few injury concerns, as they always seem to do. So they're not going to be at full strength. The only real concern I've got if they flood the midfield, which we've seen when teams do that to us against the midfield too, we do tend to struggle. But they've got legs in that midfield, which is something we don't. So I would not be surprised if we switch back to a 3-5-2. Which is what we did against Besiktas. Maybe that was Nuno trying to kind of sound out a plan, maybe. Who knows? But that's the only real concern I have. But they're definitely there to be got at.
Yeah, it is interesting. Obviously, it seems like they're playing like a 4-2-3-1. Son and Lucas Moura as those sort of inside forwards with Kane up front, and then they are packing out the midfield. But they're not just packing out the midfield. They've got big players in there, and not just big in terms of name, but in stature, Sissoko and so on. And he could give Neves and Moutinho a bit of a headache at times, can't he?
I've obviously watched a lot of Spurs this season. Since Mourinho's come in, it's almost strange what he's done with the front two. It's front three even. You've got Kane dropping a little bit deeper now and allowing Lucas, Son or Ali to advance a bit further. And I think that's why Kane and all the rest of them have hit a bit more form. But Kane could play anywhere. He's a terrific player. He could play absolutely anywhere on the pitch. But he's dropping a bit deeper and having more of an influence on the game because he's not the quickest, is he? He's not getting in behind as much, but he's seeing more. He's seeing more of the pitch and making more key passes. So that's something Wolves will have to be wary of.
Yeah, so as I say, a good start for Spurs under Mourinho, and it's going to be very interesting again. Another battle between Mourinho and Nuno. I think we only managed to get one of those last season before we were sacked by United. Of course, Nuno, Matt playing under Mourinho. There's actually been, I don't know if you've seen any of these sort of press conferences Mourinho's had in particular, sort of dropping little compliments and little jokes about Nuno. Do you think that's just him, Mourinho, being a nice guy, or is that sort of mind games, or a bit of both?
There's always an ulterior motive with Mourinho. He's a right callous character, isn't he? I think he's doing that to try and not get into Nuno's head a little bit, but I don't know. It all seems a little bit backhanded for me.
Did you see what he said? He's a better coach than he was a player.
Yeah.
Mourinho said that about Nuno.
Yeah, he weren't great in sticks, was he? But I think Nuno has said as well, I've not had time to speak to Mourinho.
Yeah.
I'm too busy, so I don't think Nuno has any intention of getting involved with these media back and forth, whether they're positive or negative. Mourinho loves a bit of limelight. So Nuno is very much focused on his tactical approach, and you know what he's like with the media anyway. He just hates media duties. If it was up to him, he wouldn't do them. So I don't think he's going to get involved in any of that.
Yeah, agreed. So let's move across the Wolves now, Matt. They could go 12 unbeaten. That would be the first time since the late 50s that Wolves have done that in the top flight. In terms of lineup, I mean, I know you've sort of alluded to there a possible switching style for Wolves again, but surely that would mean maybe if we went with 3 in the middle, dropping Adama.
I'd play him right wing back if that was the case.
Ahead of Doc.
Because Doc was absolutely terrible against Brighton. So if there's anyone who could be warrant dropped, it'd be Doc, just because how bad he was against Brighton. But I don't think he will switch to the 3-5-2. He's probably thought about it, but it's one of those where we're playing that well and getting results. It's why worry about what they've got when we've got what we have.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think for Wolves, how do you look at it? Do you want to not shut up shop, or do you want to not concede, or do you want to not score? Because I think if you want to score goals and try and win the game, we've got to go with 3-4-3. If we want to just sort of not shut up shop, but sit solid and try and draw the game at least, I think 3-5-2 is probably the way to go.
I think we'd really struggle if we didn't play Adama.
Yeah,
Because he's the outlet, he's the outball, he's the one who gets us out of trouble, gets us up the pitch, and he always takes 2 or 3 men with him. And I think if we didn't play him and opted with the 3-5-2 and played Doc, we'd miss him and we'd notice it. So, whatever formation he plays, he's got to involve Adama in some capacity. But I think the 3-4-3, especially with the form that Jota's in the past couple of games, he's had his
5-2 now.
period now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Where he only plays for 3 or 4 months, but when he does, bloody hell, he gets going. And for 11-minute hat trick against Besiktas on Thursday night, took his 2 goals well against Brighton. Could have had another hat trick there. Looks like he's back in the goals, and which only means good things for Wolves and bad things for our opposition.
Yeah, so if Wolves went with let's say we're going to go with the 3-4-3 or the 5-2-3 or whatever you want to call it. For me, that obviously the Wolves switched to that. That's when we scored all of our goals yesterday. I think that's the way Wolves probably need to go, and will stay with Saturday. Are you going to go and change from that team against Brighton, or does Bennett come back in for you maybe?
No, not for me. I think just keep it how it is. I don't think the defence did that badly against Brighton to warrant dropping Sace or Dendoncker. Obviously, Cody's the mainstay. Like I said, if anyone warranted being dropped, it was Doc, and that's again, it's going to be Matt's got a vendetta against Doc. It's not. He was just rubbish.
He just looked tired for me as well. Yeah, he was very sluggish.
But yeah, I'll just stick with what we've been playing with, and then still got time to change it then. But yeah, no wholesale changes for me.
Yeah, and I think you're right with what you're saying. If Vertonghen does play left back, Dharma's got to feature some capacity, like you said earlier on. And so yeah, it'll be interesting. If you put your neck on the line with a score prediction,
it's definitely a winnable game, and I think we should go out there to win it, not shut up shop and try and frustrate them and play for the draw. But being realistic, I think it's going to be 2-2. Okay. I think Jota's going to get a goal. But yeah, I'm going to say 2-2. They're very good going forward defensively, pretty shambolic. So yeah, I'm going to go for the score draw.
I think I'd take a 2-2, but I know I'm going to stick with the old faithful, a 2-1 win for Wolves at Molineux again. I think, yeah, Jota would be great if he can grab another goal. If we could start seeing him firing more often. 5 goals in 2 now. But yeah, if we could start, scoring goals against Spurs, teams such as Spurs, and if Nuno can come up with another master plan like he did at Wembley last year, that will be a huge 3 points for Wolves. We know how tough some of the fixtures are. Spurs, Liverpool, City, within our next 4 games. Yeah. It's going to be difficult. Points are going to be, on paper, very tough to get, and I think if we can get 3 points from this one, it's going to be huge. Let us know your thoughts and comments about the game and your predictions in the comment section down below. Matt, before we finish off, should we give a quick plug to the Wolves Tottenham away day?
Yeah, if anyone does fancy going to Spurs versus Wolves at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think it's on February the 27th or 28th. We'll leave a link in the description down below, but basically for hospitality packages through Event Masters Travel, I work for, Talking Wolves subscribers, fans, whatever you want to call it, can get £100 off the package. It includes fast track entrance, luxury executive padded seating situated right behind it. You can tell I've done this before. Right behind the away fans, you get complimentary pre-match bowl food before the game, complimentary drink, access to the bars and lounges, and they are stunning. It's like an airport. It's an experience like I've not had at a football ground. 2 hours before, an hour after. So you may get a Spurs legend come and speak to you, subject to availability, but it's definitely worth it. It means you can guarantee your tickets. Haven't got to wait for the loyalty points, and it might be the perfect Christmas present to make sure you're insured to see Wolves win at the new stadium. So yeah, leave a link down below.
I'll make sure I will. Fingers crossed. But Matt, thanks for coming on. Hopefully Wolves are going to grab 3 points this weekend against Spurs at Molineux. As I say, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we'll be back for the match review on Sunday. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you all very, very soon.